Okay, we're gonna finish up our picture. I pulled two Pitt Artist pens from my set, Pale Geranium Lake and Orange Glaze. So these two, along with that yellow I showed you, I use in almost all my autumn and fall pictures to touch up on top of pencil work or little tiny leaves, yada yada. I just want to show you, so I wanted to put in a little red over these leaves we did. So I was squiggling in, just dotting in a little bit more red. And this can kind of help it look a little more vibrant. You can also put in a little orange, kind of mix over that. If you want the colors to pop, or you could do all orange. So it just kind of makes them a little brighter and can bolden things up a little. It's really good for small things. I'm also going to use this orange. So the stars on the spell book, I want to do like some orange, some purple, and then I'm going to put stickles over them so they sparkle. So I'm going to go ahead and do this little one here in this orange. And these tips are so fine, they're easy to get in. You can use a very sharp pencil, any orange you like. I'm going to put in another one here. I'm going to add a purple, which is that same purple I did on the border, a little purple star right here. And this is just kind of the base. If I put the stickles on, it'll help them kind of pop and glimmer. I'm going to do this red one here, and that's so these colors can tie into the spider and to this little bit of red we're putting more into the leaves. And then put a little bit of red liquid pearl or stickles. I want more glittery, like magic look on here. Got a little bit of green on there, but I think it's okay. Let's do this same little one up here. And you can also take this and you can put in a little red around the spider's body over that pencil. So he's kind of a little more poppingly red. Okay, and then, yeah, so these are just little things you can add, touches, you know, of detail here or there. That's what they're really, and usually you have to dab it on, but this one wasn't particularly shiny. It's usually only if you're dabbing over marker. And I don't really see anywhere else. Haven't decided on the owl yet. Need to fix a little bit right there. That's another thing, right? You can put a little bit here if you wanted, make that nose pop out more, or along the bottom of the eyes. So these pens really are useful. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do his gown and everything now. Move my pens out of the way. So for his gown, I think I mentioned I pulled too many colors. I don't know why. I have dark purple, dahlia purple, mulberry, and processed red. But I think, because I also have mulberry in his hat, which is why I wanted to tie that in. So I have processed red, dark purple, dahlia purple. Where is my mulberry? My mulberry is missing. Of course, I thought I had that out yesterday. So go ahead and pull those colors. Guess I'm going to pause this while I find it. Okay. Found my mulberry. Cat had rolled it off onto the floor. All right, so we're going to do dark purple. I have Dallberry, mulberry, and processed red. There is mulberry in his hat, so we definitely want that. I was going to use the dark purple just to kind of outline the gown. So let's start with that. And I was going to use that to kind of go on the inside of his sleeve around the stars here. Okay. I'm going to outline the gown, put a little in this corner. And I'm going to outline the gown. Just bring it out a teeny little bit. Put a little bit. Cauldron goes, I think, down to here. I'm going to put in some of the gown there. Over here. A little bit underlined there. I see a little space in there, which is clearly part of the sky. So I'm going to grab my black alcohol marker and put it in right here in the center between them under the arm, so I don't get that confused. Okay, I'm also going to outline his sleeve. Well, I'm going to just say I'm going to softly shade in some of this color. Okay, so then let's go to the Dahlia purple. And these all have a little hint of like almost an eggplant and a brown or mauve in it. So I'm going to shade a little bit into the sleeve, overlap that color, and kind of follow the line of the sleeve, kind of soft, and bring this in just a little. Okay, let's do that on his sleeve as well. Over here, I'm going to put in a little bit of gentle color around this star. Bring in this color a teeny bit. Same over here. I'm going to go all the way around this star in this little pocket of curl of hair. Then I'm going to color outward from the line like this. Just a little bit more. Straight out. Okay. Let's do the sleeve here. Nice and soft. All right, next let's go to the mulberry. I do not know, oh, there it is. All right, mulberry, same thing, since I have it sharp, I'm gonna bring in a little bit in. Also overlapping these colors around the star, leave room for that last little color. I'm using 4 colors here, so I'm just gently wiggling this in here. Okay, let's go. Leave a little bit of space for the last color. I'm just gonna put this over everything because it's like the prime color that's also in his hat. Let's go down here, bring this in around the star and everywhere. All right. Okay, lastly, process red. Now we can, I'm gonna leave a teeny bit of white right around his hand. And a teeny bit of white on the sleeve before you get to that black line. That gives some nice little highlight areas. And I'm just putting a little bit of this processed red over the mulberry. And tickle this in a few spots over here on the gown. I'll just put it all the way in, but lightly. So down here, I'm going to touch over everything. I'm going to bring this down and in. Okay. So a little bit of highlight right here is fine, right here. Kind of, maybe. Put a little white around it. Let's get up here. I want to leave a little sliver of white on the sleeve again. So I'll just tap in a little. Okay. Good, and then I would go back to the dark purple just to put it a little darker right around the edge of the sleeve here. For a little bit more shadow, bring it in a little more. I think I did pretty good dark on here, but I'll put it on the sleeve too. Then I'm gonna go a little dark around here. Put some down along the side here, just creating some shadows, little nooks and cranny areas down here. Okay, and then the dahlia, I need to tap in a little bit. I'm going to overlap that extra color I put in over here. Tap in a little more and take that process red. I'm skipping the mulberry. I'm just putting a little more process red right around because it's the brightest. Just wear it around, and then we want to go get our white. Put in a little bit of white. White. Let's get this highlight spot right around this sleeve. And it's okay to go a little bit into the purple because that creates kind of that glowy smear effect, which makes it look more like a highlight area. And then of course we're going to use the blender stick, so don't be afraid to put that in there right where it goes. Okay. Now get your Prismacolor blender stick. Make sure there's no other colors on there. Start with these highlight areas, the white areas first. We're going to blend right in there. Wherever it was a little lighter, we'll blend first. Okay, and then I'm just going to blend the lighter areas around it and then go all the way in. I'm going to go around this star carefully. This little nook area. Just hold your paper flat. Look where you're going as you go around the stars. These 4 fingers, I'm pressing down, holding it down. Okay. Just looking, see if there's any white tooth or specks. If that's the case, you just gotta give it a little run over. Blending that white area into the purple and around so it looks kind of natural. Every little nooky area here. Okay. Let's go over here. Hold the paper down. Remember what happened to me with that hat. Make sure it's flat. I'm going to take my black marker, just because I got some of that white on the black line of his hand and it doesn't look right. So I just want to re-outline his hand very carefully to kind of go over that white from the white pencil. Just doesn't look right. Just cover that up. Got a little bit of that over here. Yeah. Careful you don't go too thick. I should use my Posca pen. I'm sorry, my Pit Artist pen. That was too thick, but I think it'll be fine. Okay. I'm going to trace along the bottom of the gown with this black pen so it pops out a little. Trace along the side here. I'm actually gonna switch to my black Pit Artist pen as a more controllable, thinner tip, fiber tip. And then I'm gonna trace along the side of the gown straight down to make it look a little more outlined. So you can see where the dress ends more and kind of pops out over the grass. I'm gonna go back over this. There's no point outlining the one that's over the black. I mean, I guess I might just make it look more like it's part of the background, but let me just do it. Maybe that'll help define it more. I think it looks, yeah, it looks a little better actually. I'm gonna do one up here because it's a little more vibrant in the background, so it helps identify where one starts and the other ends. All right, so that's really all we need. Actually tap a little bit of this black right onto the pumpkin stem and dab it. Okay, give a little bit of depth, dab it so it looks a little more soft and smeared. Okay. All right, well, we're done with his gown. We can do his hat. We can also do the pages on the book. The pages on the book, all you have to really do is this cream color with a little bit of white. The cream is the 914. I have this here. I'm just going to do it, but I'm going to do it very pale all over first. And then I'm going to do like a darker one that's kind of this one in the middle. I'm going to press down so it stands out a little more. And then every other one, I'm going to try to run it darker. Go. And then I'll take the white, make sure there's no purple on it, pick that off from the gown. Make sure there's no purple on there at all. And I'm going to get the other two over that. I mean, they are book pages, right? They're usually white or cream, so there's only so much you can do. I think it's as long as it doesn't look like it's the paper stock white. We haven't decided about that cord yet. Let's finish the wizard's hat. So for his hat, I have Parma Violet, Deco Yellow, New Pink, and it's not New Pink, it's just pink. I don't know why I accidentally put the word new. It's neon. Sorry about writing. So it's neon pink. And I'm going to put in a little swatch of this here. So it makes a nice gradient. And so how we're going to do this is, where is Deco Yellow? Oh, I need the mulberry back. That's what I need. Mulberry. Okay. So what we're going to do on the hat, we're going to do like a gradient effect, darker. So we're going to start, I saw this swatch, this color looks really nice together, the mulberry. Then we're going to go, so we're going to start with the dioxane, then into the mulberry, and then into the neon, and finishing off with that yellow, and kind of a gradient effect. And then we'll take the same colors and do stars. So down here where we have the dioxane and the mulberry, we'll put the yellow stars, and up here where we have the yellow, we'll put the dark stars of the same color, so they kind of contrast, so there's contrast. Okay, so let's start out by doing the dioxane purple hue. All right, okay, I had to dump my pencil sharpener shards. Let's start with the dioxane purple hue. And so we're going to do the stars last, even though normally I would do them first before shading around them, because I want to kind of see where each color ends. So we're going to start at the base. And color in under these stars. The stars will likely be yellow or deco, so try not to get any purple on them. It'll be really hard to disguise if you do. So if we broke this half into fours, 1, 2, we'll go up to about up to the bottom of here. Just under this star. All right. So we will put in a second, and I guess I just realized I wasn't using a card. To my Dahlia, sorry, my Dioxane. Yeah, I guess I lost my Dioxane card. Okay, well, anyway, let's go into the next one, which is the Mulberry. I do have a card for that. And we're going to do a second round, so don't worry that it's light. So just start above this star, start working up. There's something in my eye. Gonna overlap, of course, that purple a little. Go up. We're gonna go up. I'm going slow. I want it to look nice. I'm going to stop right about here and fade it out a little, very light between these stars. It's a good stopping place because we're going to put in the neon pink next. And you don't have to blend into too much. You do want right here, though, to have a very little bit of a lighter transition point. All right, so let's put in the neon pink. Blend overlapping right over that mulberry. Go over here too. This is a really nice color combo. I've seen it before. I see color combos I like people do, and they actually write what they use. I write it down in a log, and then I come and I do it myself at some point, or I pick from the book, the idea book. Call it my idea book. There's a nice overlap. And so we're gonna see this star here is right about where we're gonna stop. So we're gonna go to this star and then down. A little bit more, very pale. Okay, now we'll put in the Deco Yellow. And it is similar to the moon color, but it's okay. It's gonna have dark colored stars on it. The moon's a little bit more white though. So just put all this color in all the way around these stars. All right, perfect. So all we have to do is repeat the process. Now you can go a lot faster and just put in more color. So we do the Dioxane again. That's the one I don't have the color card for. So we're just going to deepen up these colors, particularly around the stars. I'll put in another layer basically. We got our first layer in. We overlapped everything when it was light. Now we can go back over. Make it more vibrant for blending. All right. I go up just a little. This is where it overlaps right here. I do a little bit darker again, down lower. Do want it a little darker. Not all the way up to the dot, but just some of it darker, like the 2/3 of it. Just get that color on there. A little bit darker here one more time around the edge. Okay, now let's do the the Dahlia purple again. Darken this up as well. Wait a minute. No, mulberry. My bad. Good thing I caught that. That would have been, darn it. Fortunately, they're very similar in color. I better move that. It's gonna confuse me. We're doing mulberry. Mulberry. And I'm gonna lighten it up as we get into that neon pink. I better do a little darker there because I put the wrong color in. So we are definitely on the mulberry right now. It's darker there, so I'm going to add a little bit more darker here because I had put in that wrong color, so make it nice and dark. Okay, let's put in the neon pink. Just gonna get more of that in, overlap it a little. Now neons are always, what makes them up is a little bit of a different, they almost seem more streaky or watery or something. Whatever lead or whatever they make neons out of has always been a different feel. The pencil feels different. Every brand I've ever done, something in the chemical or the pigment, some kind of whatever makes up neon they have to use. Okay, and again, the Deco Yellow. The train's coming by again and again. 5 times a day. Usually I don't notice. It's only when I'm on camera that I even notice it. I'm gonna overlap right there. Okay, so we can go ahead and blend. We will start at the yellow, work all the way down, pick off any pink off your blender stick, or you'll have a streaky yellow, pinky streaky. If you're not sure, just do it on a little white paper first. Okay. Don't need to do much on the yellow because obviously it's not, you know, looks fine, but just tap in a little bit of that. Now I'm mostly going to start blending at the line of the pink. Down a little so it's soft, and then start getting all this pink neon. Holding this down. Yeah, the neons definitely feels more fluid. Like they're a little bit more wet. I don't know. It's really interesting how they make neons. I'm gonna have to look into it. Overlap it a little onto that pink. All right. I wanted his hat to look a little more like a rainbow hat, just to kind of signify more that playful magic. These aren't, you know, dark, dreary, evil spell gnomes. These are gnomes that are turning pumpkins into apples and crickets into mice or something. So I feel like doing silly things. All these gnomes are more playful, I think, even on Halloween. I don't think they're derogatory. Whew. All right, so I definitely achieved that rainbowy effect. I'm gonna go pull this purple upward a little at the line and into the other color a little. Okay. And yeah, so you can see I'm pulling up some of the color with the blender. So there's like more of a natural transition from one to the next. Kind of an overlap a little bit. good. So that yellow here, we would put down here. So we'll put some Dioxane into all these stars. Not Dioxane. That's early in the morning. It's Deco Yellow. We're doing Deco Yellow. The Dioxane will go at the top over the yellow. Complete opposite. Okay, so we'll do the Dioxane and the mulberry, I think, up here. So up here, let's do them solid color. So we'll do the Dioxane, and we'll do a whole mulberry one. So we're using the same colors, but we're kind of mixing and matching. Let's do a mulberry one. I'm going to do a mulberry one here, and then we're going to do a hot pink one on the bottom. So bringing all these colors into the stars, color coordinating. Going to go down here. Okay, and I'm going to do one more right here, the hot pink, because I like how that color kind of pops. I'm going to do the okay, and I might put on my yellow stickles for some bling onto the yellow parts. I think so, yeah. Now his hat looks like a magic hat. I have the pink stickles I might put on. I might put on dark purple coordinating stickles. Down here, we're kind of doing the same thing. I had started it when I was testing that pencil that one day, but we're going to go ahead and do the Dioxane here over this. We're going to do the same thing, but go inward toward the nose. Just a little bit here. I had put a little dark purple right there before, which is actually nice. Looks good that way. Okay. A little darker here. All right, so let's do the mulberry. I want to overlap it, at least 3/4 of it. I'm going to really lighten up my pressure, soften the color where we want to start the neon, just kind of real gentle there. More color right at the transition line between the two. Go over. Soften it up really light. Okay. Now we'll put in the yellow in the middle. That was the hot pink. Put in the deco yellow. Overlap that pink right there at the nose. Gorgeous rainbow hat. All right, now let's blend. We'll blend, of course, over the yellow first. Make sure you have a clean end of your blender into that hot pink. Go. Gorgeous. Blend it a little bit over that line between the mulberry and the hot pink again. A little bit over that deco yellow line. So it almost turns like a fluorescent orange right there. I tap a little more pink right there. Perfect. I am happy with that. My yellow right there. Okay, so the hat I think would probably look best in like a dark purple, similar to her shoe. In fact, I'm gonna use that alcohol marker. And I'm going to go ahead and use the one I have sitting here. It is an Shuttle Art, actually. It's an inexpensive marker, Deep Violet. Any dark purple marker doesn't have to be quite as dark as the one we did on her shoe. But I'm going to just do this one because I have it right here. You can always go over it with pencil if necessary. Go around that belt buckle. And, you know, I like solid things like accessories over the softer pencils to be like I like them to be like a solid color, not that same soft gradient on the accessories. I want them to pop. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. Now I think I can decide about the pumpkin color, which I was saving for last because I really want that to look nice with whatever he's wearing. I think we'll do the cauldron, though. You have to get on the inside of the buckle. Also gonna look, is there anywhere else we could put this color on him or anywhere else in the picture? So what that made me think of is the bookmark, although I think that bookmark we should do in just a standard kind of a brown. It would look good in a purple rope, but with the green, I think a brown would be better. And there's enough purple on her already. I don't really see anywhere else we can put a tad of this color. Maybe I can outline this little black swirly on the pumpkin, but Soucolor is a budget marker. I try not to do too much in the budget marker because they can fade over time. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do the cauldron. And then the pumpkin and the little owl. Okay, here we go on the cauldron. So I've pulled, we have 50% cool gray, 20% cool gray, black, cool gray, which one is this? 50% cool gray, and I have 90% cool gray and black and white. So you have to envision this scene as it's nighttime and there's moonlight. It's nighttime, obviously. Moonlight shining on them. And the cauldron was black and it was dark. You would see highlights of where the light would be hitting. So I'm going to think right a little bit around here. Maybe a little bit right here. Maybe a little bit right here. This band thing in the middle kind of throws me a little. I don't know. Sometimes people will do that a different color. I've been a little torn on it. I want to go ahead and start, though. We'll just get started and see what happens. I'm going to start with the black. I want to start with the sort of the band, which is this area that goes right around here. I'm going to start with this. Come around. And might be a little bit of, trying to think, do I want that to be more solid? No, we should keep it consistent. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to put in a second layer right on over it immediately, so I don't have to go back to this later. Darken it up, then fade it out, and we'll put in a touch of this 90% cool gray. We're going to continue inward. Lightly here. Okay, I don't have cards for the other two, so we're going to go to the 50% gray. Put this in just a little bit. Just a little will lead to like a highlight spot. This is a good way to kind of test the method. Let's also do the 20% and head right on into the middle where we're going to do a little bit of white. Probably got the highlight right here. Got the moonlight. So you'll just have to follow along with me. I really need to get this done. I can't have time to make any more cards. I think I'm all out of cardstock too. We've been working on this for 4 days. I have to get this published. So there. So I think that's good right there. What I would then do is I take the black. I'm going to darken it up again. See, another layer. It's getting nice and dark. We will be using the blender stick. I'm going to be rotating through the colors. I'm going to go back to the 90%. And then lighten it up a little here. I'm going to go to the 50% again. Overlapping, then the 10, overlapping the white a little. Now let's go ahead and blend this real quick because I wanted to see how it's going to look. I'm just going to start on the white I really want that to be white, so I don't need to do much in the center, but more on the sides where the gray is. I'm just not going to really touch the white part. There's no point. I'm going to go in toward the darkest, toward the black. Push this down. Okay. Okay, just to go straight over the black though. Yeah, this will look nice, I think. Should be good. And just make it look a little natural there. Use your brush. Pick off the black with my nail. A little more of this gray here. Just soften it around the edge there. Okay, excellent. So we're gonna kind of do that all the way down the cauldron, which is time consuming. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this on a higher speed. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just tell you in advance, I'll do it on a higher speed or with music. I'm gonna basically go, well, let me first show you what I'm gonna do. I'm going to take my lightest gray and kind of draw in the highlight first. So I wanted that kind of light source to be kind of not a perfect circle or anything, but just kind of right around here. Just do a light circle around it, kind of right here. I'm gonna do one that's might be able to align this straight down. For this, so up to this band, I'm going to follow the pattern so this highlight goes straight down to here, and then here it'll be a little different. So I'll put one there. I'm going to put maybe a little bit right here between the leaves. Just kind of draw this in. So basically then what I'm going to take, I'm going to do what I did up here, the black, and I'm going to start moving it to the center. Two rounds of the 4 colors. So black, 90%, 50%, 20%, and white. And then I'll repeat it, and then we will blend it. So that's what I'm going to do. You can kind of follow along. Okay, so I did a couple things off camera when I was picking colors for the pumpkin. I did the little owl and the two belts, and what I used were my metallic Guang Na, G-U-A-N-G Na metallic sparkle pens. So I had it in gold, silver, blue, and this purple. I did, and it's two colors in one. So for example, I used this purple one on hers, and it's purplish bluish sparkle. This one is kind of a silverish white sparkle. And then the owl, I did the same sparkle pen here on the owl's wings. And then I also used my Spectrum Noir glitter pens. I have a set of 6 Spectrum Noir neon glitter pens I used on his chest. So you can see he's kind of glittery. Let's see if I can move this over, you can see what I did. See that? See how her belt buckles? So you can just use any kind of a gel pen. If you don't have these exact ones, I don't even know. I've had these forever. I don't know if they're still available. If they are, I'll link them in the comments. So you can use any kind of glitter gel pen or paint pen for the buckles. And the owl, you can use anything you want. I wanted a little sparkle so he pops out a little. I thought it was pretty cool that it's that blue and purple, which kind of is kind of owl mystic and kind of matches what's on each of the gnomes. And I also dotted that bluish purple in the center of each little bubble to make it pop a little. And then I did a couple glitter on the stars on the book. And I decided to run it over her shoe, put in a little bit of gold over that kind of blue. So I wanted to look like it was sprinkled a little with magic. And that dark blue shoe was just kind of flat and dull. So I added a little sparkle, gold sparkle pen to her, over the color. And you can see kind of that blue under it, but it's got like some sparkle on it. So I did that. That's about it. All right, so for the pumpkin, what I like to do when I'm finishing off a picture, if there's something left to be colored, I like to look at it and see how are my colors balanced. What do I have too much of? What do I not have enough of? You know, obviously we could do the pumpkin in purples, but we have a lot of purples. We have a purple pumpkin here. We have purple in the hat, a different purple here, purple in everything, a little bit here and there. Purple would be overkill. We could have done any of the orange themes but then if we have one orange here and orange down here, I wanted the bottom to kind of be a focal point with these big orange pumpkins to pop out. And then I realized, okay, we have a little bit of light purple and baby blue and stuff in the bats, a little bit of blue here. And we have a little bit of gray we put in this cauldron. Really what we need is more blue and gray. So I wanted to do a pumpkin that's in these kind of blue and gray tones, kind of like those bluish gray Cinderella pumpkins. And with the cauldron, you can see this highlight. I went over it multiple times, blending the white and the two grays. So it's not like a blinding bright highlight with the white, but it just kind of made it look like an old pot that's faded out. And there's like a soft glimmer of like moonlight or something hitting it. And so I think it turned out pretty well, better than I'd hoped. So for that pumpkin, I want to use 70% cool gray, slate gray, which is 936, and again that blue violet lake 1079, and white. So let's go ahead and do the slate gray. And I want to kind of do what we did with the pumpkins here and start on the side and move inward. So I think I'll just going to go down the inside of the lines on each side. This is the 70% cool gray. And the reason I did some of these things off camera is because these videos could go up to 8 hours if I like every little detail. And since when it comes to final details like that, like sparkle or pop or metallic or, you know, not everyone's going to have the same special mediums to do special effects. So I figured I'll just do it off camera and tell you what I did, and you can use something similar. Or you can just use pencils in similar colors and kind of replicate what I did. I am going to show you how to do some little twinkle in the sky with a white gel pen, which you'll need. And you'll need that for a lot of my videos, or in general if you're going to do a lot of details and coloring. White jelly roll. And I like to give you guys a little bit of freedom to add your own pops of color to the details if you want something specific. So all right, I'm tempted to find an alcohol marker that's in that kind of sage green to put a little bit over this pumpkin to brighten it. It's kind of dull. So I might do that as well. We'll see. I'm going to do a little bit at the top, just under this stump. A little bit at the bottom, shading in as well. Okay. Now let's go to that slate gray. I'm gonna kind of blend halfway over the cool gray and then inward toward the center. I'm gonna catch the bottom, run it up and down in a nice soft manner. I'm gonna do it on this side as well. I didn't put any gray on this side because it was so thick on the other side, but let's put in some of this blue right here. Let's color into this one. Okay, let's get over here. Just boxing that in a little. I don't want to use tons of that violet blue lake, so I'm going to bring this in a little bit more even in this big area in particular. We can always add another layer, touch in more. Okay, let's go to the violet blue lake. We're going to overlap a little this right toward the center. We got to save room for that white. Oh, this dog is losing their mind out there. I'll leave a little bit of white in here for the white pencil. All right. Put in the white, make sure there's no dark color on it from anything you've done previously. Put that right in the middle. See, that's a really nice, soft, subtle touch. It kind of complements what's in the sky and these bubbles, but it has a little more gray, so it also complements what's in the pot. Ooh. All right, I had to pause, but we're putting in the white. Someone came to my door. Then I'm going to go back to that darker gray right along the seam here. All right, a little darker. I want it a little darker right there again. So you kind of see that definition a little. And then my printer is going off. And then let's put in the slate gray. Let's color over that. We're doing a little, especially you want to blend at the line where you stopped on that other gray. Kind of softens things up. So we'll put that in at the bottom. We're going to put that in along here. Do a little bit here. Let's color a little bit of that here. Here. Okay, let's get that violet blue lake. Put in a little softer than I just did all around. I'm overlapping on each side a little bit, leaving that white area plain. All right, and then touching in that white, overlapping a little bit into the blue is good. I have all my stickles here too. I grabbed so I can show you my final details. So then I'm gonna pick off anything off the end of my blender, any black or anything. Let's get on in here. Don't need to do much of that. Let's mostly go around it. Don't want to take out too much of that white by blending it because it will turn a light gray. So I'm just going to kind of go around it. Try to blend more of the gray, the blue, the slate. If it looks a little too rough where the color ends and goes into the white, maybe just dust over it lightly. We still have to put some stars in the sky and some final details I'm going to show you. Oh, man, this has been a labor of love, this one. But I love this book so much that I plan on putting a lot of time and effort into these pages because I want to do it and kind of keep it forever kind of a thing. Teresa Goodridge is such a good artist. She should really release these gorgeous books on good paper, like on Deborah Muller does on her artist editions, honestly. Okay. There we go. If you see any specks of tooth or anything that looks clunky or chunky or just go ahead and get that in there. I'm going to touch again that white a little. All right, so we're basically done with our pumpkin. I think that's gorgeous because it's kind of a grayish blue, which looks nice against this. And it's, you know, pumpkin that we don't have a color of anywhere else. You could theoretically add in a little more of that, the darkest gray, the 70%, if you want a little bit more of that line to pop out. Shadow. So it doesn't look as pale or blue as the bubbles do. It's got more of that bluish Cinderella kind of pumpkin look. Ooh. Okay, so what I have here is a white jelly roll pen. You can buy these in a multi-pack if you don't have one, 6-pack. They're amazing, and they do get, you know, clunky after a while, and you have to kind of go like this and shake them and go do it on like a red or black paper to get it flowing. But this one's brand new, I just opened. So I wanted to give kind of the effect of a little bit of twinkle twinkles in the sky. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to hold it straight. I already tested on paper to make sure there's something coming out. And we'll go down and test it. So I'm going to dot it so lightly it looks like a tiny speck. See that? Hold this down. I'm just going to hold it straight. I'm going to dot it like little stars. Okay. We can make some like shooting stars or falling stars. You can do sometimes like a little squiggle, very faint. You can do like some little clusters. You can do, see, it's getting a little dry. It's clunky. I need a sticky note or something to try to do it out on, get that gel going. There we go. Get my gel pen going. But yeah, you can see it looks like little stars in the sky. If you go over here, just some little dots. You'll notice this more in person than you might on camera. Pencil doesn't really work, it's too soft. Posca would be too big, would look more like snow. So this is really our option. There we go, got that one rolling a little more. One trick is to run it over the palm of your hand, which is kind of oily, and that gets it flowing, which is what I just did. You can do some little constellations, like dun 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 dun. Or like in some random patterns. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe go dun, 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 dun. A little bit downward. I do like a little squiggle like there for like a little shooting star. Dun, 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 dun. Little constellations. Yeah, it's subtle, but the eye makes it think it's like twinkle, like lights. I'm gonna put a little white in the middle of his mouth, and I'm gonna put it in there for like her teeth. Yeah, so that's really how you get a little bit of stars in the sky. Make a little constellations. So the next thing, I have here a liquid pearls. It's called Lightning. It's like a neon yellow. I'm thinking of putting this in his little stars here. I'm gonna go ahead and do one. There's a pointed tip. You can kind of get it in and use the tip to kind of move it where you want it. And just need a little bit to kind of brighten things. And you can kind of follow the outline of the star drawing. Kind of try to trace it. It'll end up having to be a little bit over what the pencil lines are. And just decided I wanted to do that just to give it a little more of a pop. So I'm going to follow the lines there. Yeah, and it kind of looks a little 3D too. I like it. I'm tempted to do it on the big ones. I'm going to do one. If it's terrible, then that's all I'll do. I'm going to outline it. And that way, if there's any purple that had overlapped, this kind of covers it. You outline it, then you fill it in the middle. You dab it in. Use the little tip to move things around. There we go. Perfect. A little touchy. I'm going to trace it. Now you don't have to do this. You can just leave it done in pencil. I like a lot of details and funny things on my pages. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let me go ahead and clear that. I want to show you one thing to do on the bubbles. I'm gonna probably do the rest of the stars. I was grabbing my clear stickles. Gonna outline the rest of these stars. Takes a little practice. You know, it's not the cleanest thing in the world, but I like the fun little vibrant pops and 3D kind of details like this. And it's, you know, when it dries, it'll be elevated. It's kind of bumpy, so it looks like it has a texture. All right. Perfect. I love how that looks. It's brighter, it pops out, it's kind of neon, it's like a little gel, it has texture. And of course I just botched one right here. You have to be careful. It takes about 24 hours for these to dry. We lay your book flat and don't touch anything. Because believe me, I have wrecked many a picture and forgetting I have stickles on 10 minutes later, reaching my arm across to do a detail on something and put my arm right in it. Okay, so in the bubbles, I wanted to put a little something. I have a clear stickles. It's called Icicle. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna take one bubble, maybe over here. I'm gonna put a little in the middle. I had to cut the tip off. Mine was clogged. And I'm just going to move it around a little. Easier to do when you haven't cut the end. There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to give each of these bubbles a little sparkle. So they're magic bubbles. So right in there. Move that around. I'll end up using my finger. Right in there. Move these around. I'm going to dab this in. Okay. I'm going to go right along the bottom. So these are magic bubbles, as you can see. A little trickier when they get small, when your tip has been cut off. You can use a sewing needle to go in and out to clear if you get a little clog. Eventually, if you just cut a little bit of the tip off, that'll fix it. Dabbing with my finger. We have magic bubbles, but yeah, you can still see all that blue pencil underneath because this is clear, but it gives it like this magic sparkle. I love it. Actually gonna put a little over here on her boot. A little more sparkle over here. All right, sometimes I like to do this on clouds. I would almost do it on the clouds or something now, but I want the focus on the bubbles because it's right in the center of the page. So perfect. So then I also have a white liquid pearls. This is actually great for like jewelry and things like that. I actually need to get a Posca pen to fix her mouth. I was thinking of putting like a little white dollop on here on the one side. Each little side. Oh, mine was clogged. Is it still clogged? It's having a little bit of an issue. Like a little, like a highlight or something. Yeah, it's not gonna work as well as I'd hoped because of this, the amount of glitter I just put on there, just dopping it in a little bit here or there. All right, makes it look a little more 3D. I can see them actually. This works good for a lot of things, like you can put a little white on the spider's leg. Wanted something like that. Okay, just wanted to show you what some of these things can do. I'm happy with these bubbles, except for this. Right there, right there, right there. Ah, fixed it. A little bit of concentration. So yeah, these things are great for final details. I'm going to put the hot pink one on the hat. Let me show you. I have that one here. I have a couple of pinks. I have solid pink, pink sparkle. I thought I had a red and red, which is more of a mulberry. Let's see. Ooh, I'm having so much fun with this picture. I'm thinking I'm going to do the solid color because we did the solid on the other one. So let's, please tell me this one's not clogged. No. Okay. Oh, that's a little darker than I anticipated, actually. That's actually more the mulberry color. I'm going to do this little one. This is more like a mulberry color. It comes out darker. There we go. I wanted his hat to have all these popping colors and magic and texture. There we go. Okay, we could do then the pink one we'll do for the sparkle effect. I've used these pinks so many times. Now you can still see the hot pink underneath, but this is making it look like it's pink sparkle. It has a pink tint to it. So it's, you always want to do the underneath color a similar color, maybe even a little darker than the stickle. Excellent. So that really like kind of pops out all bling bling. I love it. Love it, love it. And I don't see anywhere else I really need anything like that. I guess I don't need the red. Oh, I should do a dark purple one. Okay, you're going to ask if I have purple. And of course I do. Except every color that exists. We're going to put purple. Man, they're all starting to run out though. need a new purple into this star. There's lots of different shades. This is the darker one I have. Oh my goodness, I love it. Often I'll put glitters and magic things in the sky, but I think the little stars is enough. Sometimes I'll put some of those clear stickles on my finger and dab the black and you get some of that sparkle in the sky, but I want to kind of narrow it down to just the stars. I do have a Posca paint pen. I feel like her mouth needed a little touch up of white right there, and I don't think that gel pen quite did it the job. In the middle for the mouth. And this little guy's eyes, I wanted to make a little more white. Put in this. All that's in there is the paper. I didn't color the eyes. There we go. And I'm thinking this gel pen, I wanted to put a little stripe of white. That's not going to show though. Can probably do it with the Posca pen, a little bit of white stripe on the pumpkin there. Kind of down the side a little. Like a little highlight. All right, down the side there. Woo! I don't think I could possibly do any more details that I have. Maybe put a little bit more of a brown pit pen in this stem. It was really kind of a dull. I wanted to brown it up a little. Ooh, that looks really vibrant. Yeah, these stems are a little dull. I can darken these up a little. Just go right on over that pencil. My goodness, this was so much fun, this video. Just gonna touch it up here. That and that. All right. I'm gonna follow the little vine thing with this too, the way around. And things that you want to kind of like pop out, you know? Uh-oh. Got some of that stickles on the end. No, it's not working. Okay. I always just look and I'd be like, where can I add more detail? I can use a little alcohol marker to make that pop out. I'll put a little more brown in here. Oh, we are done. Ooh, my first picture in gnomes for the holiday with every magic detail you can think of, and there's probably more I haven't thought of. I try not to get too carried away because then we end up, it is easy to do too much and then you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So that has happened to me before. So I'm going to stop while I am ahead. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll post the picture and this maybe 3 to 4 part video. And I hope you had a great time and learned something. Let me know if you do the picture, share it in our Facebook group, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.